And I'm going to tell you about all of that at the end, but I'll give you a hint, is that my dad got into Bitcoin by buying the ETF. Now, I'll tell you why that's monumentous. I'll tell you why it's so important. I'll tell you why it's game changing here at the very end. But until then, we're going to get into what happened this week in crypto. We're going to start off with my favorite, Eazybot. So Eazybot, for those of you who know, it's software that helps you trade crypto through an API with your exchange, so you can control the funds in your exchange, and sends that API to buy and sell. Now, I have 10 bots. One of them is not active. I actually, by accident, I deleted one of my trading bots this week. But no worries, because that money, guess what? Just because you delete a bot doesn't mean you deleted all your funds. My money is still here in the Kraken. I deleted my Polygon bot, which actually is way in the money right now. So we'll get into that in a minute. But that being said, I started a new bot, Pneumatic bot, even though I still have all the funds from my other bot that I deleted. I'm just going to hold that because I love Matic and I am bullish long term, and I know what the average buys and sells were in there. So I know where I'm sitting in that position, and I'll close it out later. I'm actually going to hold that long term because holding is a decent strategy to help hedge on these other things. So that being said, let's take a look at my Eazybot results this week. Those are not them. They are not them. They're over here. Those are not them. This is data that I compiled to get to my Eazybot results. But let's go here. Okay, so this is my handy dandy spreadsheet. I'm going to pull it down here so we can all see it. I'm going to pull it across. There we go. So Eazybot in trades. You can see I've been measuring this back since I only have $1,700 in trades, and this number has grown over time. For whatever reason, some of it's natural growth, some of it's appreciation of coins, some of it's I put more money in. But all in all, I have seen a decent run up in that account. And the way I show you, I'm just trying to get it configurable. I thought I had that done. I did not. There we go. Okay, so what I did this week, because I had, this is not because I lost money in there or I took it out. I actually did take out that Matic from the trade accidentally. It's all right. I'm a moron, but that can be fixed because all the software just stopped sending the buy and sell signals. I still have the underlying asset in my account. It sits in my Kraken account. It's right here. So I had to take out that $1,600 from what I actually had in the trades here. So that's why you see 72.25. But if you add 1,600 in that, you'll see that these coins have appreciated nicely. And I didn't go and add a bunch of outside money into there. So 72.25, I made $70 gross. That's about a 1% return this week. Again, I'm shooting for a 0.5 to a 1% return. Now, here's the killer, is the trading fees. Trading and gas fees hit me hard this week at $41.98. Now, I might be able to go back and reconcile and realize that there's a few bucks in there that might have been with another trade that I haven't executed yet or something. But neither here nor there, I had $41 in gas and SSF fees. That gave me a net return of $28. Now, that's only 0.4% below my 0.5% target. So I will be coming out with a video later this week about how you can reduce these fees. All right, so if you're trading crypto, I'm going to talk about something that I've overlooked for a while and that needs to be done. By the way, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button now so you can get all those future notifications. Hit the bell too, so you can get notifications when I come out with new videos. And then I will be coming out that video later this week about how you can save on trading fees. Now, I have a busy week coming up in my personal life, and I'll probably be skiing later next week. So hopefully that video will come from my ski destination. That being said, all in all, on Eazybot, that's an okay week. I've had better days than this week gave me. But the coins are all sprung loaded to make some profits here in the short term. And I see that happening in the next week or two. And we're going to get into why I see that happening at the very end when I talk about the thing I talked about in the very beginning. All right. And that's confusing, I'm sure. So my net annualized return, if I did this return every week, which, that doesn't happen. But if I did this exact same return every week, nothing else changed, I'd make a 20% return on my money. That's 2 to 3 times, 4 to 5 times what you expect in a savings account, and 2 to 3 times what you can expect in a decent performing bond or mutual fund. I think that's 7 to 10% right now. So net year-to-date return is about 4.5% return year-to-date. So that's about, almost 2 months in, a month and a half in, not a bad return. If I make 2 to 3% return a month, that's 20 to 30, 24 to 36% return a year. That's still very strong return. Now, next up, Rev Token. For those of you who don't know Rev Token is a token, community-driven token that was brought to the DeFi. They've gone through some changes, and that token value dipped all the way down to about 18% of a cent, and it is now back to 1 cent. You can see I had built up some profits, or built up a stack. I sold a very small bit. I get to give back to the Rev token community in the form of Matic returns, because there's a 10% buy-in and a 10% sellout. I have no affiliation with this token other than I own it. So just so you know, it's just something I'm watching, and my value's going back up. It went very low. Look, it went very low here, and it's gone up 10 times since this point. It's a high risk token. It is, but I believe in the team. They're putting together some utility to start bringing value back to the token holders. Okay, so that's Rev Token. Oh, and I gave me a little 7 cents in Matic rewards for my $245 stake. That's about a 0.03% return. So we're not talking blockbuster here yet, because they don't really have the real utility. That's just from buys and sells. But I look forward to seeing them grow. Now, Pionex. Okay, so Pionex, I got into this a couple weeks ago. Let's look on here. I got into Pionex. Let's see, I've been there about a month, a little over a month. I put in 800 originally, then I added to my stack to another $400 to 1194. So as you can see, if I graph this, you can see that it went down, but my trading profit went up, but the token value went down. So I measure both. I measure the overall P&L plus just the trade profits, and here's where I'm at. So the overall P&L, I'm down to only minus $4. So I weathered that storm of after the spot ETF was approved, Bitcoin went down, it brought the tokens down. Now they're heading back up. And we'll talk about that again at the end. Very, very interesting stuff, I'll tell you. Just trade, and by the way, subscribe and like. Just trade profit this week, $13. So as you can see, that's almost more than I did the last 5 weeks. So this is looking up. I had a 1.16% return, and that's fees already taking out. So Pionex did well. This is a free bot. As you can see, it hasn't really performed that well. And I'm just showing you what it's been doing. But I will tell you, this has had the power of being a Bitcoin. I wish I did a Bitcoin Eazybot versus a Bitcoin Pionex. I would love to see the difference of results. I'll probably do that in the near future. You live and you learn. I've made some mistakes along the way. Don't judge me for that. So all in all, my Pionex bot did pretty well this week. But as you can see right here, the Aave is what's dragging me down. I've made negative 40 because it's down 10%, the token. Whereas Bitcoin's up 4.34% from where I bought it. Plus I'm profiting from the trades. So here I'm profiting a little bit from the trades, but the Bitcoin took a bigger swing down. As it goes down, it buys because it's a DCA bot here. And then it's been selling on the way up. So I've realized appreciation as well as trade profits. This one, I'm going to keep watching this. I'll let you know every week how it does, and we'll keep on that track. All right, next up, Coinbase. This is my control. I hold Bitcoin and Ethereum in Coinbase. So you can see my original investment was $10,250. My current Coinbase value between the Ethereum and the Bitcoin that I hold is about $11,606. So that's an unrealized profit of $1,356, or about a 13% return. Now it's unrealized. That money's sitting there until I sell it. So you can't look at this the same way as trade profits. Trade profits, I've made the trade money. I've taken USDT out, and now I have that to compound and play with. Now, this has been one that I get a lot of comments on. Oh, that's this, that's fake, this is that, whatever. All I know is this. This is a DeFi project called Seletti. It has returned me 10% in the last 3 weeks. 10% total in the last 3 weeks. I put in $501 of my own money. This is not sponsored content. No one's paying me for any bit of this video today. And so the first week I had $8.91. Second week, $20.59. Third week, $21.38. It's about 1% a day. I've realized so this is after they take their bit out, because the team takes a 15% trading fee. So I've gotten about 10% back in 3 weeks. or about 50 bucks or 10% of my original investment. So if I'm going to have to hold this longer to realize my profit, I can say right now, I want my money back. And in 35 days, they'll give me that back, but nothing's going to happen in the meantime. That money's not going to trade. They've taken it out of the trade and they'll give it back to you within 35 days. That's what they're saying. So the reality is that this has been working. It's been up since October 18th of 2023. It's very high risk because they're trading Forex. If you look on here, the active users has improved since I've been in there. You can see this is my $50 I've gotten out of there. Again, not financial advice. Do whatever you're going to do. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. This has been going. They've had a lot of AMAs with the CEO. I know there's been a couple of AMAs with his name. I think his name is Lenny G, not to be confused with Kenny G. But he goes on, shows his face on these things. I like that. There's instant withdrawals. I like that as well. When you hit the withdrawal button, I did one, I think yesterday or the day before, the money comes out instantly into your account. So that means there's not some wizard back there, pushing buttons saying, I'll let this person get their money and I'm not going to let this person getting their money. It goes with the contract. By the way, their contract has been audited by Surtech. So there's a lot of positive things on this project. Now, it is risky because they are doing Forex trading. There's one that I think it was Moneymaker 101. I didn't get into that one, but they just blew up because of the Forex trading. And so these things happen. Now, I haven't, people ask me about which exchange or which, I can't remember what they call it for Forex, but which clearinghouse are they trading these through? I don't know. Okay. But they have a very active Telegram group. So if you have questions on there, get in there. Now, I'm just showing you what I've done with my money. Do whatever you choose. If you're going to get in this, not because I'm in it, there's a referral code down below. Use it, don't use it. Understand that these things are high risk. Okay, so that leads me to the last place I want to go. And I really want to talk about Bitcoin. And people are like, Joe, Bitcoin's boring. It goes up, it goes down, whatever. Why do you report on this? Because I like the trading aspect of crypto. I like even the DeFi projects of crypto, but everything goes back to the granddaddy himself, which is Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin's doing well, it drags coins up. If Bitcoin's not, it drags them down. And there's one thing I told you about is my dad got into a Bitcoin ETF this week, and his words paraphrased were basically and he's a boomer. And the ETF has given legitimacy to Bitcoin where he would never have invested in that before. And that now he's open to investing in it because it's very heavily regulated. Well, my dad might be on the forefront of the boomers, but there is a lot of money in that generation, a lot of money. And the ETFs, you've seen billions of dollars of ETFs being bought. Now, the ETFs aren't necessarily going into individual trading or investment portfolios yet. And the boomer or the average person with money isn't going to go open up a Binance or a Kraken account or a Coinbase account and buy Bitcoin. They might, but more than likely they're going to go to their money person, their certified, what's it called? Their money. Why am I having a problem with this today? They're going to go to their financial planner or their accountant or their other people for advice. And they're going to say, what should I do? And they're going to say, let's just buy the ETF. It's the safest, most regulated way to do this. This isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just telling you what's happening out there. And this is going to happen. Now, the problem is right now, not a lot of those financial advisors are even allowed to talk about the Bitcoin ETFs. But I guarantee you, there is so much hype going around this Bitcoin and the halving and the ETFs. It's like a perfect storm coming together. If people like my dad, who is in his upper 70s, very advanced trader, I would say, or advanced financially, but if he's asking about it, that means there's millions of him that are with retirement funds or other monies that they have and can invest in these things. So I'm just telling you right now that right here on the screen is Bitcoin since 2016. And you've seen it go up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now we're down. Now we're on the upswing. Now, is this the end of the up, or is it going to keep going up? I don't know. I can't tell you definitively. If you look at this line right here and you say, let's take a trend line, and you say it went down to here, all the way down to here, And now look, we're going back from here, back up to here. How much farther can it go? If you look at the top here, if we at least go to the top, we still have a fair way to go just to get to the top. Now, is it going to exceed that? It typically does after a halving cycle. And how much will it exceed it? Now, anything can happen. Just because it happened in the past didn't mean it's going to happen in the future. But it stands to reason that with, all this new excitement with the ETF, all the new money that's going to be brought in, tens of billions of dollars have already been bought of Bitcoin for these ETFs. And it's been mostly done over the counter, which doesn't typically affect price as much because those buys and sells are happening outside of the normal market. Well, it is the market. But now, when these average investors start buying up the ETF, which I own, I have bought the ETF. I've also bought Coinbase stock. I do things traditional as well. This is my high risk portfolio portion that I talk about. I don't typically talk about my stocks, my bonds, my 401ks, my ETFs, my mutual funds, other businesses and investments because I'm trying to focus in on crypto. But that's because crypto is exciting and it is the most high risk portion of my portfolio. But if you see what's happening here, it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, and I could be wrong. I do own Bitcoin. No one's paying me to say this, but all this excitement will obviously have a heavy influence in price. Now, will there be ups and downs along the way? Yes. But I believe long-term, I actually believe long-term Bitcoin could actually be our money system, which would be really upsetting to many, many governments. So much so that I'm building stacks of Bitcoin. Anyway, long story short, and this is the point I wanted to get at. You have to pay attention to Bitcoin. I don't care what part of the crypto world you're in, you have to pay attention, and you have to pay attention what's going to happen in the next, I would say 3 to 6 months could really develop a direction for the future uses of Bitcoin. That's all I got. So just to recap, my Eazybot performing decently well. My Seletti still paying out. It's about 5% a week. Pionex still going strong. Rev Token, they're doing some great things. Check them out. I would hope to have them back on here again. Hope to have someone from Eazybot back on here again. In the meantime, pay attention to Bitcoin. Listen to or talk to people that don't typically would have said a year ago, what's Bitcoin or why would I even do that? It's not tangible. It's not regulated. Talk to those people. See what they say now. I bet you their tunes changed just a little bit because they're talking about it on all the mainstream media like crazy. Even people that were against Bitcoin before, you're seeing them talk about it now because it's unavoidable. You can only avoid change for so long before it becomes part of the everyday life. That's all I got. Hope you got some value out of this. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and I'll see you next time.